Y'all, today is May 25th, 2024, and I thought it would be really fun to do a garden tour. Also, Mandie over at Mandie's Place asked if I could kind of go over some of the things, like what I use them for. So we'll start with this. This is nettle. I use this as a medicinal, and it also has lots of nutrients and minerals. We also have an elderberry tree here, and that's also a medicinal. I'm sure y'all have seen all of the things in the store that you can use elderberry for. And we actually have a few surprises in today's video. This is so exciting. Hopefully she's not here. There we go. We have in here, last year they did this too, but we didn't get to see them. I think they're sleeping right now. Let's see if I can get in here. It's hard to do it with this phone. I was doing it with another one. There they are. There's little babies. I'm almost too short with this one, but there are little bitty baby birds. Hopefully you can see them. They are super, super cute. I think there's 4 of them. Only one of them's opening their mouth now, but I've got several videos of them and we've been watching them. I think that's like day 4 for them that we've noticed that they're there. This big plant here is comfrey. I love this plant. I think if I could only have one herb, this would be it. The bees absolutely love the purple flowers, and I have the Russian variety that doesn't produce seeds, so it doesn't go everywhere and spread everywhere, because once it gets going, it is it is really hard to kill. But I love this. This is a medicinal. I use it in the garden. You can do chop and drop. I mean, you can do so many things with this plant, so I absolutely love that. We have lots of mint. This is a julep mint here. Also have a walking onion. This is like a good green onion replacement, and it's a perennial, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Then we have, this is peppermint here, and that's another elderberry in the back that I need to find somewhere to transplant. Now these are just flowers. These are just more for beauty. We have a Mexican sunflower, but actually I have read that parts of sunflowers are actually medicinal. I've never used it that way, but I thought that was really neat. There's also zinnias, and I had to replant with a few things. Hopefully they come up. There is more comfrey. I have lots and lots of comfrey. This is my herb garden area, and I have flowers here too. This is our lily. It doesn't look nearly as pretty as it did. Another Mexican sunflower. They're supposed to get really big, like 6 foot by 3 foot, and have really pretty orange blossoms on them. And this is a, what is it? A Honeycrisp apple. We have 1 apple, but we just got this plant last year. So we also have the cicadas. Also with it, there is a branch that is kind of dying. I don't know what's going on. If y'all know what's going on here, y'all let me know. I don't know if it's frost damage, if something's going on. I mean, the rest of it looks just fine. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on with that. So if y'all happen to know, y'all be sure and let me know in case if there's something I could do to help it. This plant, this is another apple tree, and it is just not doing well. And we just went ahead and left it since it had a couple apples on it, but we will probably be taking it out. This is another apple tree, and it is really, really big. These were both planted the same year. This one and this one that's not doing very well here, those are the same year, and it has got lots and lots of apples on it. It's supposed to be a Jonathan apple, which is a red apple, but they never have turned red, so I'm wondering if it wasn't mislabeled. These are ornamental plums. They have a lot of plums on them this year. Oh, the cicadas, you can hear them. They are just covered. These are peaches that we've had for a long time, and well, I guess semi-long, probably about 10 years or so, and they are not doing well at all, and we really haven't hardly got any peaches from them. So I need to try and figure out something different for those. This is a pear tree, and it is loaded. Last year the critters got all of the pears, so hopefully this year we'll be able to get some. Another new tree we put in new last year is this Santa Rosa plum. We've already got 1 plum off of it, and several more are starting to ripen. And as you can tell, I love comfrey. I put it under all of the trees and things like that because it is just great for other plants. It just enhances them and makes them even better. This is a yellow flame willow. This plant is beautiful in the wintertime and turns yellow, and I just love it so much. We have horseradish. You can use that to eat. And let's see, I think this is spearmint here. Okay, so we will come on around and see a few other things. We'll go back to the herb garden. Now, oh yes, something else I wanted to show. This is, I don't know if you'll have this where you're at, and I know there's another name for it and I just can't remember. I used to be really good with herbs and had studied a lot, took courses and all of that, and I'm not quite as good. I guess you don't use it, you lose it. That is definitely true. But the mimosa tree, that is really, really pretty, and that's also a medicinal too. So it is really cool. I've never actually used it before, but it is awfully pretty. They are all over the roads. Oh, I see the plums are turning colors and dropping down on the ground. I don't know if those are edible or not, but it was really pretty on the ride home, seeing all of the mimosa trees everywhere. And now we're into our herb garden. Now, I have had this garden for probably 10 years, so it is a really old garden. I have a lot of herbs here, like this is oregano. I use that with like thyme, and I put in a few thyme plants too. I think there's one here. Mine died, so I had to do new ones. That's one I grew from cuttings from the store. And I make like, what is it, like the Italian seasoning with that. This is yarrow, and it is beautiful. It's also a medicinal, and I've actually heard of people using it for cut flowers that they dry and use in winter. So I might do that. I don't know. That just sounded really cool. And this is a plant that I had got one of last year, and I broke it up probably into 10 plants and spread it everywhere. So I am super happy with that. I have more comfrey, and I have chives. We use that like in place of onions. This is catnip, and it's also a medicinal, but I mainly grow it more for the pretty purple flowers. I think it's just beautiful. I went ahead and planted a few of my tomatoes. I had a few extra, and I got some of those planted out here too. I have a bunch of zinnias that have just started to bloom, so we got a little bit of color here. These are some kale that are left over that I still need to cut down and just get rid of. You can let them go to seed, which they are starting to do. Usually you want them when they're like that black pod. But I think I'm just going to cut mine down. I've got a few tomatoes in there, catnip, yarrow, and that thing in the middle that's really tall is marshmallow. It is an amazing medicinal, and I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite plants, and it will put on pretty flowers as well. And this is my lemon balm bed. I absolutely love lemon balm. It's a medicinal, and also I use this to make my vinegars out of. This is my favorite thing. I make all of my vinegar homemade, so I do that. We have more comfrey. This bed is mostly just weeds. I was not able to get to it like I wanted to, so this is like my to-do list here. I need to get ground cover put down, so hopefully I can get the weeds cut down before I plant in it. I would like to get some broccoli seeds. They're kind of expensive, and I haven't decided for sure if I'm going to do it or not. We had a lot of unexpected expenses this month, so hopefully I'll be able to do that. The same for this bed. I was going to do broccoli there. Okay, sorry about that. It is really hot today, and I'm getting even less time because it's even hotter, but there's another elderberry, and I completely forgot to show this over here. I got these little towers from Dollar Tree, these little stackable towers, and I'm growing lettuce in them, which it's totally not a flop this year, so that's great. I thought it was. And I've got several different nasturtiums. Most of them are this trailing variety. It is super pretty. I love it. It's a new variety from Baker Creek. It is most of them that I'm growing this year. We also are trying out strawberries in them too to see if I like that. I'm thinking about possibly putting strawberries in this strip here, but I'm not sure. I'm trying the stackable containers out and seeing how well I like them. But this is pretty much my herb garden, and like I was saying, I have had this for probably 10 years, so it has been a long time. I did not do all of this in 1 year or overnight. It has been a really long process for me. This is some of our strawberries. I got these plants at Walmart on sale for like 50 cents, and we've got quite a few off of them, and they're already putting more berries on. So we are super excited. I think that's All Star is the variety there. I have several different herbs. Some of these I grew from seeds, some of these are cuttings, and some of these are ones I just got from the store. I've never used these two before in I guess culinary uses, but the others I have, so I just use those just as you would your normal herbs you get from the store. There's more strawberries here. Oh, they got something after me. I do not know what it is. Let's get away. Okay, maybe he'll leave me alone. This is our butterfly bush, and I think I just missed the butterfly that was on it, but this is a tricolor butterfly bush. It is beautiful. It's one of my favorite plants, and the pollinators absolutely love it, the hummingbirds and the butterflies. Here I've got a what is it called? Rosemary that I grew from a cutting, and some alyssum flowers. Here I got some coleus. In fact, behind there is some poppy that I grew from seed. This is sage that I grew from seed last year. This is one that I grew from seed this year, so you can see how much bigger the one is from last year. I've got some dill in here. We'll hopefully be able to use that with pickles and things. This is a sensitive plant, and the ants have taken this plant over, and I thought they had killed what I had planted out, but luckily it's self-seeded. Isn't that so cool? You touch it and it just kind of folds up like that. We love this plant and think it's so fun. And we also do all of our water with the rain barrels, and I think it's so cute. The elderberries are dropping their flowers, and I just think they're so cute. They're everywhere, but I really like that. And this is my main vegetable garden area, and this was not done overnight either. This has been quite a few years. I think we put these first few beds in with the arbor in 2021, and we've kind of just added a few here and there. So I'm going to go over something new this year I'm trying is an in-ground garden, and I put a lot of the same varieties that I have in the raised beds in here. And whenever we first started, this garden was struggling. I had to water it more than I had to do my in-ground garden, but we did get some rain, as you can see, and we actually had some severe weather come through, so some of our things aren't looking so great. It kind of toppled things over. But we have several different varieties. We have a bunch of gypsy peppers here. I've got a sun sugar tomato here. I think that's another sun sugar. I believe that's a sun gold, and so is that one. The sun sugar are my children's favorite, and the sun gold is my favorite. What does that say? More super sweet 100s. Those are a red one. The other ones are orange ones, I forgot to mention. What else does that say? This is a Riesentraub. It's kind of like a grape cherry tomato that has a little pointy end to it. Sweetie, I think that's just a classic red cherry. Tigerella is a striped one that is pretty big. It's probably about an inch big. This is Sweetheart. This is a new one I'm trying this year from Baker Creek that I'm super excited about. We've also got a candy cherry there. I need to get all of these tied up. The storm did a number on them. This one's Berry's Crazy Cherry. It's a yellow kind of pear or grape tomato, and it's supposed to produce a lot. I think after that is the Brad's Atomic. This is Triple Crop. I'm excited to try those. They're supposed to be pretty big slicers. I forgot to say the Brad's Atomic Grape is a pretty big grape tomato. Also, and I think it's purple. I even noticed before that the stalk of the plant is a little bit purple too. So after the triple crops, I've got a Chef's Choice Orange. A few years ago, that was one of my best producers. It had so many peppers on, or not peppers, tomatoes on it. And I'm just realizing that I did not go over some of these other tomatoes here. A new one we're growing is a Lisa pepper. That was new from Baker Creek. It was supposed to be a sweet, thick-walled pepper. Got several of those. This is Heatless Habaneros. I got those from Baker Creek, and we grew all of these from seed in our little setup. We don't use artificial lighting or anything. I just do it in a south-facing window. This is a Corno de Toro. This was one of our favorites last year, especially with the pepper poppers. And the rest of these are mystery peppers that just showed up in other pots that I had already replanted. So I'm not sure exactly what those are. We have a Rutgers tomato. I think that one's a Rutgers. A Better Boy. Those are big red slicer tomatoes. Better Boy's kind of your classic. Bonnie's Best is supposed to be a good canning tomato, so we're going to try that. It's also a red one. We've got Jubilee. This is one of our favorites as far as flavor. It's a big orange tomato. And then we have a couple of black creme. Are they all black creme? Yeah, 3 black cremes. And look at the blossoms on those. They're massive. But this is our favorite. A lot of people like the Cherokee purples, but we like these even better. We got a lantana planted. This is supposed to be one of the big ones that are I don't know, probably 3 foot by 4 foot or more. I've got another one here. and also another Mexican sunflower. And I put this herb garden, or not herb garden, flower garden in last year, and I grew pretty much everything from seed. I took a few cuttings or I just kind of did like took plants and cut it up, kind of like I did the yarrow with the woolly lamb's ear, and dispersed it, so it's pretty big. Here's more of that yarrow that I had taken apart and used some in the back and just kind of planted it everywhere because it's beautiful. We also, let's see, woolly lamb's ear is also a medicinal too. I'm trying to remember. I think this might be echinacea. I'm not sure. This is a hibiscus. Echinacea is also medicinal. The hibiscus is just for flowers. It may be medicinal, but I don't use it that way. This back here is Maximilian sunflowers, and it is really cool. It's a perennial sunflower, and I had actually read that like a long time ago the pioneers would put this next to their houses, and they would like even bathe in it with like the leaves and stuff, and it would help with mosquitoes. So that would be wonderful if that's what it actually does. I don't know. This is bee balm here, and that's a medicinal. This is portulaca. I got that from Walmart, and these last year I grew them, and I was so happy with how well they stood up. They were almost like drought tolerant, and they were amazing. And I have a lot of the same things. We got more woolly lamb's ear and hibiscus and bee balm. And I was so excited. So here's more yarrow, and this is Sweet Williams. It came back, and it is a perennial, and I was so happy. It was like the first flowers in the garden, and I'm so happy about this too because we have our first echinacea, and I grew that from seed last year, so I am super excited. I'm not 100% sure what this is. I think it might be a bachelor's button, and I got more of that portulaca down there, and bee balm, hibiscus. Some of this I'm not 100% sure what it is, and I've got zinnias that had popped up from seeds. And yeah, so that's pretty much everything we have there. A lot of the same plants, but I'm still really happy with it. It was really pretty last year, so I'm hoping it will be the same this year. Now, our regular garden, in-ground garden, took a beating with the storm, and I have really, like, on my to-do list this week, I've got to come get my tomatoes put up. So these are some sun sugar tomatoes, and just to show the difference, this one up front is the store-bought one, and that is one we grew, and we've already got several off of the store-bought one. So that's the good thing about the store-bought ones. They're a few weeks ahead, but in the long run I feel like our homegrown ones do a lot better. This one is another, let's see, that's a sun gold there, and this one is a snow white, as well as this one. This one we've already got a couple off of from the store, but I mean, as you can tell, the ones that we grew are like so much taller and seem to be a lot healthier. I found that with a lot of the store-bought plants, that they look really good at first, but the longer they're in the garden, kind of the worse they do. Let's see, I cannot see what that is. What does that say? Oh, that's a tigerella. It is really big, and I really need to get it tied up. And I can't see what that is. I think it's a Brad's Atomic grape. And this is another sweetie. Like I said, I really got to get these tied up, and these really took a beating in the storm. These are our paste tomatoes. I really got into making sauces last year. So we've got some Amish paste here. Those are all Amish paste. We got Tachis. We got, there was something else we grew too. I guess I got a lot of Tachis. Oh yes, this was it, Shelby. I got all of those from Hoss Tools, and they're doing really good. And I also got some okra planted in the little holes there. At the very end, I did Star of David. And this end, I did another variety from Baker Creek. I think it was, I'm not sure exactly, but it was supposed to be a really productive variety. So my phone says it's getting a little hot, so hopefully we can make it. But this is our peas. They really took a beating, and they are really finishing up a lot sooner. It has been super hot, so they are kind of at the end of their life, but I let them go and save the seed from them, so I wait till the pods are bigger. But those are great in stir fries. And let's see, we have sweet potatoes here, a mixture of white sweet potatoes and Beauregards. This one is a super sweet 100 tomato. That's a red cherry. This is a new one we're trying, is Jelly Bean. We've had a few from it and we weren't that impressed with it, so I probably won't get it again. This one is a Candy Cherry, and they are getting really big. I'm going to have to get them tied up somehow with all the beans, or not beans, the peas. And this one's a Raisin Chaub, that grape tomato with the pointy end, a Sun Gold, and they have really fallen over. And this one's done pretty good. The peas have held it up. That one is a Sun Gold. And also I just use blinds for my tags here, and that works great with the number 2 pencil, like that, the pencil and the blind, that works great. That's a sweetheart. That was one I was really looking forward to. And this one is another sweetheart. But our peas look pretty sad in another catnip. It is so beautiful. I just love it so much. And I completely forgot. Surprise number 2. We have another nest. And look, there is eggs in there. Let's see how many there is today. It looks like 3. That's where we're at. 3 little eggs. And I'm pretty sure that's another cardinal there. And these peas look really, really bad too, but I'm just trying to save them so I can save the seed. But they have beautiful flowers. I love it. They're purple flowers and purple peas. This one is so bushy, I don't even know what it is. Oh, that's a Jubilee. So that's the orange slicer. That's like our favorite. I did not grow a whole lot of those last year, and the weeds in this bed took it over last year, and my kids were really sad. So I made sure to grow a bunch of those, as well as black creme. And this is a Chef's Choice orange tomato. You can see it's like about that big. It's already got tomatoes on it though, so that's good. But this is the one that we grew from seed, so it is a lot bigger. I don't know if you can see that. It's a lot bigger. There's a couple of triple crops. These are, does that say Rutgers? I'm trying to see what the tag says there. Oh, those are the Bonnie's Best. So that's kind of like that red. A lot of people use it for a canning tomato. There's a couple Rutgers and a couple of Better Boys, and I got some basil in there too to make like our Italian blend. But that's those beds. And we actually have some evening primrose that just grows wild here, so that's coming up there, as well as a really pokey weed that I need to get out of there. This is another catnip. I just love the plant. I think it's so pretty. And here we have a lot of peppers. All but these right here, these 2 on both sides here, all of these were grown from seed. So we grew all of these pretty much. These are our favorite peppers, the gypsy peppers, and you can see they have already got a bunch of peppers on them, and it's the end of May, so I am super excited. And in between that, we plant sweet potatoes. I am doing a trial to see whether I like the slips better or like the actual plants with the roots that we grow, and see what produces more. So I'm trialing that, and we'll see at the end of the year. But I have found that sweet potatoes and peppers are great companion plants. I have been super, super happy with that. So I think most of these are gypsy peppers. I think one might have been something different. Oh yes, I did have one Hostinator bell pepper. That's new this year, but it doesn't have any peppers on it just yet. But these are all gypsies, as you can tell. That is our favorite. There's another Corno de Toro, and this is a Tricked You. This is like a heatless habanero, or not habanero, jalapeno. And this one is a Lisa pepper. I've got some weeds here. We'll do a little bit of weeding. There we go. And let's see, I don't see the tag for that, so I'm not sure. I think that's a Zulu. It's like a purpley pepper from Baker Creek. There's another one. This one is Hostinator Bell, so that's another new one we're trying here. I really need to get that one sorted better. There's another Hostinator Bell. It's doing better. And this is our favorite as far as the green bell peppers. This is the King Arthur. And look at that. We've already got peppers that big, and we grew these from seed. So I'm super excited about that. And some of these sweet potatoes look bad. The bunnies are really bad about eating them. So I just try and plant more to beat that. And okay, I'm back. My phone was getting too hot again, and we had to put it in the freezer to get it to cool off. What I was trying to say is that I grow our sweet potatoes here, and I have issues with the bunnies eating them. So what I do is I just grow a little bit more to try and combat that. Oh, there's Mama from the Cardinal with her nest. But another thing we grow, I think this is like a 4 by 16 foot bed, and the past few years we have been able to grow enough of peppers and enough of sweet potatoes for our family to last a whole year. So that is pretty good to be able to grow 2 crops. It's also starting to bloom a little bit. And another thing, I was going to see what the thermometer says. Whenever I was inside, I looked at the weather app, and it said we were 90 degrees with 107 heat index. So it says it is pretty warm. I'm going to try and clean this off and see if you can see it any better. There we go. Hopefully you can see that better. And I also misspoke too. I realized whenever I said I had these heatless habaneros down here, I got those from Haas Tools. So I misspoke and said the wrong place there. So that's where we're at with all pretty much the main vegetables. I do have potatoes here. I think I've got red Pontiac to that would be the left, and the Yukon Golds to the right. And in between them, I planted some different pumpkins and squashes. This is Long Island cheese, if I'm not mistaken. I do have more Long Island cheese in there somewhere. Oh yes, this one. It is not doing well. So some of them did not take very well. That one's looking okay. Last year I grew some, what are they? Amish pie pumpkins in there last year. I think I had like one plant and got over 30 pounds of pumpkins. So I was thinking it would be fun to grow some down here. I've got one right there and another one here. I don't know. Where is it? Is it died? Yeah, it is not looking so hot. But I was hoping that they would come up the arbor and it would be all pretty and magical with all of the pumpkins growing. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our like fruit bush area. This, I had put this in, I think in 2022, most of this. And my plan was to have all of the comfrey grow up. As you can see, all of the bees on it, they love the comfrey. And it is great for weeds and stuff. And I have a blackberry variety here that a family member gave to me and is really special. They are actually produced a lot later than most of my blackberries, but that's okay. It's good to have at different times, and I have not got to these to get all of the weeds done, but that is going to be on the list for next week. But I did not, as you can tell, like this was like my first row I did, and a lot of the comfreys took really good here, and as it progressively got hotter and hotter, I had less luck with my comfrey. So I think what I'm going to do this winter is I'm going to take a bunch of cuttings from my comfrey and put them in the spaces that they weren't, like they kind of didn't take, and hopefully we'll do a lot better next year, and that will help with the weeds. We have some grapes. I'm going to try and be careful in here. I just want to show they're so cool. These are a like a wine grape, but we actually have quite a few grapes here, so that's really exciting. And we are raspberries that our neighbors gave us are doing great too. That is another grape. It's actually like a table grape. I think it's called Mars or something like that. And there's more grapes down here. And we have some blackberries. These are more bushy varieties of blackberries. I think we're going to go the opposite way to look at the grapes. It just looks a little snaky down there for me. These, let's see, we went and got some of the weeds done here. So this looks so much better than it did. We have one blueberry there. I think that's a climax blueberry. I believe this one's the same. These are kind of smaller ones that haven't done the greatest. We got it from someone locally, and honestly, I've not been the happiest with how well they've grown. This is one I believe we got from Tractor Supply, and it's doing a lot better. These we got from another local nursery too. I believe this is the Ponca, and this is the one that in my thumbnail picture. Hopefully I will have a picture and you can see how big some of these are. I think the one that we have inside is even bigger, and I'm trying to remember what this one is, and it's escaping me at the moment. And we had a really big windstorm, and there was a really big blackberry there, and it fell, so we tried to replant it here. Hopefully it ends up taking, but it is struggling with the heat. Let's see, there is another blueberry there, and like I was saying, there's those blackberries. I know we got the blackberries from Tractor Supply a few years ago. I think I did like up to this area, I think in 2022, and then I did these last 2 rows last year. These are more of those blueberries that I had got. I've got several of them. One of them even ended up dying, but I've got several of those from the kind of local person that didn't do so well. This one's from Tractor Supply that's doing amazing, and we have got so much rain this spring that the stalks of our blackberries are so thick. So hopefully next year will be a really good year. These are a jewel blackberry, or not blackberry, black raspberry. So we are excited about that. There's more hibiscus that I grew from seed. They are so cute out here. I really love that. And more comfrey. Woo, the cicadas are getting me. Okay, let's see. What else do we have? These are more blueberries, and these are ones we put in last year that were a little bit bigger plants, and we are a lot happier with those. Same with this one, and we got more yarrow and more comfrey and another blueberry. I just find that they do really good with the comfrey, so I really need to try and continue on with that. And I've missed it, there was a really pretty little purple flower here. I did some winter sowing and put them out here, but a lot of them didn't take, so I was kind of sad with that. I don't know if I'm going to do winter sowing again because it was a lot of work to transplant all that. These are more of the same blackberries that are in front, and hibiscus. I've got more Mexican sunflowers, and I've got a whole bunch of different flowers planted here. Hopefully they'll take. I have reseeded this a bunch of times, so hopefully they will take. And I think, oh yes, I got to show you the things around front. So that's basically all of our fruit area there, and it looks a lot better than it has. There is something after me. Please, sir, leave me alone. Oh God, it's after me. I'm gonna be back. Okay, I got away from the savage creature that's been after me. This is another elderberry. I misspoke in my last garden tour and said it was one like the one in back, and it is actually a different variety. I have 4 different varieties. We have autumn sedum there, and I also have some marshmallow there as well. And let's see, we did have a moringa tree come back here last year. I know it's a weedy mess. I have not been able to get to this, but that comfrey is looking amazing, having a little bit of shade. I found that those do really good that way. And this is kind of looking sad. They came and got the wires run for our internet, but not into the house yet. So we're partway there, just so close, but yet so far away. Then we have, let's see, I'm trying to remember. These right here are orange mint, and this one is mojito mint, and a lot of that fell there is mojito mint too. This is a banana tree that I did have inside that I decided I wanted to just go ahead and plant outside and see how it does. And there's a comfrey plant here. There it is, if you can see it. And the rest of these mints are apple mint. And we also have chocolate mint. Now, I have tried all kinds of different things with these mints, and I just can't figure out what to do with them. I've tried vinegars and they didn't smell good. I've tried making teas with them, and none of my family like that. So I don't know if I'm going to keep them or not. There is that bug again. I'm going to come this way. But anyways, I have not found anything that we like to do with them, but I have noticed that the past few years with having this mint all around the house, that we have not had issues with mice in the wintertime, and we usually do. So that is a benefit, I think. I think it's because of that. I've heard of people having that experience, so I think that might be right. I don't know if you can see him. That's little Gordita, the little hummingbird. He has been so funny. He's guarding. He usually chooses a feeder, and he guards that feeder and will not let anything come to it. And this year he has chose that feeder right there, and it was so funny. It's so hot today. He was sleeping. I've got videos of other hummingbirds sleeping too on our channel, but he was so passed out and tired and sleeping trying to protect his feeder. But also I noticed that our marshmallow, there's an example of the marshmallow flowers. Now I know it's leaned over and everything, but this is another elderberry tree. Little Gordita's there too. He just flew away, but this is another elderberry tree. Like I was saying, this is one of the 4 different varieties, and this one is probably my favorite one this year. It has grown so much from last year. I am super happy with it. But I think that's pretty much everything. I'm looking around. Hopefully I explained what I use everything for and showed you some of our herb garden. Oh, another thing I was going to say, I always watch people's videos. I think it's really fun to watch other gardening videos. And Greg over at Blue's Garden grows a white cherry tomato. We've been doing the sun gold, but he grows a white cherry tomato from In My Gardener, and I think I'm going to try that new next year, as well as he grows a paste tomato, and I think his paste tomato is called Ukrainian plum, if I have that correct. And those are two varieties that I would like to try and grow next year. So I'm always trying new things. I think that keeps gardening fun, and I just really enjoy it. Cornita's having a time having to guard his little feeder. Poor thing. Anyways, I think that is everything with the garden. Thank y'all all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye.